Welcome to the Maverick Podcast. I'm your host, Kathy Rose. And as always, a big shout out to all the free spirits, the independent thinkers, and the Mavericks walking their very special path. Today, I have a wonderful guest. It's a good friend of mine. Her name is Agnes Beleznay. She is a gifted Feng Shui practitioner. She's also a fellow astrologer and a phenomenal intuitive. We're going to talk today about simple things you can do with Feng Shui to enhance your life. And we're going to talk about all the services that Agnes offers. I can tell you, I've listened to what she has mentioned to me, and it has been incredibly helpful. You're going to love this conversation. So welcome, Agnes. Come on board.
Hi, Kathy. How are you doing?
I'm so excited to talk to you today, and your background is beautiful. It has so much life force and love to it. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Now that you're mentioning the background, I can jump right into the meaning, what's behind me, and that there is a purpose in Feng Shui to putting out symbolic meanings in a variety of forms. So as you can see, I have birds. Birds are universally, not only in Feng Shui, messengers. Different colored birds bring different messages. For example, birds with a yellow color tend to bring increase. Birds with bluish colors tend to bring healing news. And overall, so there is a whole lot to it, specifically in relation to the year we are in. What are the colors that are helping us to speed up, in a way, our manifestations a little bit. The way I like to work, and here I have to give everybody credit to Kathy, who is not only an astrologer, but an amazing teacher, the best lecturer, the best, most methodical, systematic, clearly explaining teacher who does not mix actually intuition with teaching. So I have learned a lot from her in astrology that I'm using more like for diagnostics, I should say. But I'm using a mix of Eastern and Western astrology to look at energies, and then we can apply certain methods from different Feng Shui schools to remedy problems or help with aspirations, speed up processes, or block out negative energies.
Well, let's jump right into, you mentioned Eastern astrology, Chinese astrology, and I would like to share the story of what, let's see, maybe it was a month and a half ago, when you and I were chatting on the phone. Now, I've been in business full-time as an astrologer for 40 years. And, there are typically waves of super busy times with clients, and then there will be plateaus. I don't expect it because I don't want to program those plateaus, but they happen. And during a plateau of business, when you're not having any clients, you're not making any money, it gets a little stressful sometimes. Yeah. You and I happened to talk when I had a plateau. And I said to you, I really need to increase some business. I need to get the clients again. And you said, what is your Chinese astrology sign? I said, dog. And you said, your secret friend? Mm-hmm. Your secret friend is the rabbit. Put some rabbits on your desk. So I have my little rabbit statues. They're on my desk on a little yellow Post-it, because you said put them on something yellow. And
yes.
Something I had. Yes. Swear to God, I bought those little bunnies. I put them on my desk. I blessed them. I asked them to help. Business picked up instantly the next day. And I had a swarm, and I've been booked solid ever since. So thank you.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. And, I really am always so grateful and happy to hear these feedbacks, because I know these things work. And and Feng Shui really works even if you do not believe in it. My husband is a scientist with a PhD in physics, for him to believe in something as tangible as Feng Shui can be with channeling, unblocking, or blocking energies is something foreign, and yet he benefits from it all the time. So you don't have to believe in it to have it work for you. And I will get back to the little bunnies, but I just also wanted to share that culturally in the world, so many different ethnicities, different countries have some sort of approach to Feng Shui in their own ways. And I grew up with my grandmother frantically rearranging the rooms seasonally, which was just like called the spring cleaning or the fall decluttering, as you like to refer to. Now we are at the beginning of the summer. So it would be perfect for everyone to grab the seasonal energies of summer, to pull in some sunshine with or without bunnies and secret friends into the homes, offices, because there is something different about the color of the sun rays during this season. The birds are different. So it's just an interesting timing to talk to usher in the energies. What you have mentioned, the zodiac signs have allies and secret friends. So for example, you were born, like you mentioned, in the year of the dog. So your allies, which is like a triangle of affinity, your allies are the horse and the tiger. So, but your secret friend is the bunny. And we have the year of the rabbit. So this is where Feng Shui has not only this personal dimension, not only a space, but also a time dimension. Because even though your secret friend is the rabbit, maybe if we would be, let's say, in the year of the tiger or the horse, I would review and revise this advice, whether or not still, your secret friend is the best helper to energize your room.
This is the year of the rabbit. So what's next year then?
So next year will be the year of the dragon, actually.
Oh, there's your bunnies.
So these are my bunnies. And they are placed on a yellow crystal, because this is not only the year of the rabbit, but this year we have the color yellow, an earth element color that normally suggests increase, but this year even more. The earth element is missing from the year's chart, and that's why it's best to place your little secret friends on some sort of elemental color that further enhances or supplies the intrinsic energy of them.
So the average person, even though they would benefit if they talk to you to get your specific advice, but the average person could look up their Chinese zodiac sign and look at the allies and secret friends. And I put a horse picture up behind me, which I adore, and I can really feel it.
I love that horse, and I love all your art. And I don't know if you painted this specific horse picture or not, but what I love about it and what is essential also in the energy is that this horse looks content. Right? The lights are happy. It's in a very peaceful meadow, almost suggesting a bit of a Taurus energy to me, even though it's a horse. But I do see that with it. And of course, the energy and the frequency of every art is so important. I had these lovely clients in New York City where the lady started to become really ill, unfortunately, for unexplainable reasons. And they called me to check the bedroom and the energies. And they had a gorgeous large painting of the Paris Opera House above the bed. And it was so detailed, the painting, that it actually had the title of the show painted, what they are playing. And it was La Traviata, which is the tragic illness and death, and so I don't want to get too dark here, but little things when we observe our surroundings differently, like having La Traviata hanging above your head is certainly not a peaceful energy like your horse that brings in energy.
Yeah, Agnes, that is such a great point, and something people need to think about, that their art is saying something. And all you have to do is use your senses. Look at it, feel, what is it saying? What is it representing? What is it telling you? It's like when people buy art that is gory or fractured, like one half of a face and the other half distorted. All of that says something.
And I also would like to refer back to your art. I have a few of your pieces still in my home, especially the children's zodiac signs. And the mandalas are just a wonderful showcase for how energy has to radiate and what a difference it makes, if something even as simple as an object, a painting, a piece of furniture, a color on the wall, absorbs, sucks out, takes away energy from a space, or like your mandalas, it brightens up immediately any room, and it spreads out energy, and it vibrates much further than the actual physical size.
Well, speaking of art, you just opened the door. This is the perfect segue into the new venture you have. And I have it on screen right now. I'm looking at it, which is your Feng Shui art that you have created that is available. By the way, my guest, Agnes Beleznay, her website, agnesbeleznay.com, AGNES. BELEZNAY, and we'll have that on screen, but this does stream audio only. So agnesbeleznay.com, and she has digital art that she has created, and with explanations for each one. And your art can be printed in various ways. People can purchase them and place them with your advice in certain locations in their house to enhance specific things, right?
Yes. So this is a more modern approach to Feng Shui, but each and every single of the art pieces is created on multi-dimensional levels, taking into account the period we are in, which is still period 8. Period 9 is approaching. The main directions and the main axis still remains the northeast-southwest axis, like in period 8, but it flips over. And overall, the energies will change. I find it fascinating, and I can't wait to have the time, maybe decades down the road, to write about how these changes also interestingly come together with Western astrological changes. I'm referring now to Pluto shifting from Capricorn into Aquarius, which is happening parallel with the Chinese period change from period 8 into period 9. With very similar energies that will be ushered in giving us the understanding it doesn't really matter through which lens we look at the word.
So let's explain what period 8 and period 9 mean, which is another reason I was so glad to talk to you. So let me just give a tiny bit of background here. When I first met Agnes, gosh, it was 15 years ago, maybe about. And we became friends and we started chatting, and she happened to mention to me that we were in period 8 and my old address was 3288. And she said, that's a great address. It has 8s in it. Well, I didn't know anything about the Chinese periods and the numbers. So she explained it. And now I'm in a new address and it ends with 9 and we're in a period 9. And I thought of Agnes right away. So please explain these Chinese periods.
And, just one remark to this. Now that you said we really met 15 years ago, which was we met at the beginning of Pluto shifting from Sagittarius into Capricorn. That was 2008, 10, it was in and out, back and forth. So I just find it interesting with that. The different periods contain 20-year periods. So we had from 2004 until 2024 period 8. From 2024 until 2044 we will have period 9. And so there are like 9 planets, 9 periods, and it starts again. So after period 9 we again have period 1, 2, 3, 4. And so each 20-year long period has a certain elemental tone within the years and certain emphasized messages. Period 8 stood more for younger men rising and how their roles are shifting in the world. And now period 9 will be all about matriarchal energy. And I find it also beautiful, yes, that at the end of the 9th period, we are the ultimate wisdom. Thank you very much, periods. This is the truth. We are moving into this significant, deep, smart, empowering earth energy that is rock solid, that is always there, creates a much needed structure on the bottom of people's life when everything else is changing. And I think this is a very crucial aspect of period 9 coming up.
And it enhances certain directions. Now, let's segue real quick. We're just going to be all over the place because this is a jam. But there are 2, now I might be wrong, so please explain, but I know that there are 2 main approaches to Feng Shui. One is more directional and one is not. Can you explain that?
So there actually are several schools of Feng Shui, like very different approaches. We have a Black Hat school, we have Yin and Yang Feng Shui, we have Flying Star Feng Shui. So what you are referring to was actually a Western adaptation of Feng Shui energy that looks at any and every place just from a directional point of view, meaning that like if you stand in the door of a house, of any room, to the far left is wealth, to the far right is love, and that the different directions are aligned like that. While this certainly is a very fun approach to, play with energies in a place, through Flying Star Feng Shui and the yearly Feng Shui, and even the different additional energies that come in from the 24 mountain directions in every given year, adding your animal zodiac sign direction is a very complex and complicated picture. Not to scare off anybody with that, but the most can be created with Feng Shui when you really understand that it has a physical dimension in the space, it has to be related to the time, to the year, to the month we are in. It has to also be related to the person, like in what year you are specifically. And then, of course, the spiritual dimensions, how to evoke entities from other realm is another interesting and fascinating and intriguing aspect that we can use.
And you're available for Feng Shui consultations even from a distance, right?
Yes. So, anybody can provide their floor plans nowadays, with Zoom, with FaceTime, with any online consultation is possible. So I do not have to be physically there, but it's also always great to receive videos or photos or some visuals to have a better understanding of what's happening in a place.
So let's go back to your art. And if you are talking to a client and somebody wants to increase wealth or manifest a relationship or increase their health, then you could talk to them and you can suggest which art pieces. In what form does the art come? Is it printed on canvas? Is it on paper as a poster? How do you provide it?
There are different mediums I'm using. Like the easiest, obviously, to have it printed on a giclée paper that is like strong and sturdy for decades to come. I also use canvas. But also with the modern technology, a lot of people just purchase the actual file and they use it on their computer screen or on their phone. So the energy, what it does represent, it doesn't have to be physically printed anymore, because we really all spend most of our days in front of the screen anyways. So it's a personal preference. I'm starting new lines, like incorporating yoga mats. But how these things work, I have a lovely client and she has several swim schools, but for younger children where, the parents can be, it's a different customer service aspect when you have parents with young children, right, in a pool setup. So we have rearranged the check-in desk customer service area, and we used one of my art, which is 100 hearts. And because it is a digital AI creation, every single heart is different, like not one of them are identical. But the purpose was to create a background, and the color is yellow. So again, we brought in gold. And it has a soothing effect. It increased the turnover, like the revenue of her business. Everybody needs, I feel, 100 yellow golden hearts. The only reason I don't have any behind me, because I just ran out of them and I'm printing for myself. But even if not from me, I highly recommend for the rest of 2023 for everybody just to place a golden heart, a yellow heart. It can be a juicy mango color. It can be an actual metallic gold, but some sort of yellow or yellow gold heart or hearts to stabilize the energies on many levels.
Well, we just moved into a brand new house, new construction. And my office is different now. So I have this door behind me that needs something on it. And I was thinking of purchasing one of your art pieces, maybe the golden hearts, to put on the door.
On the door.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. But also I would love to look at your directions, which way you could face or sit, or how to arrange the room. So that you have the best energies, the best lighting for your videos and so on.
I remember so many years ago, you visited the old house that we had, and the door was painted a burgundy red color, and our house faced north. and you walked out,
Yes.
you went, oh, no, 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 change the color of your
Too
door.
soon.
It
Mhm.
does not need to be red because it faces north, and north is aligned with water,
Yes.
right? So you
Yes.
said paint it white if you need to, but get rid of the red. And we did, and it did make a difference.
Yes, and so I'm glad that you brought up the colors like this, because it's also always more than it meets the eye. So, for example, you mentioned the white color to north, which is the water element is actually a dark navy blue, could be black, but we have the enhancing circle of elements. So you actually can enhance water element by displaying metal, because metal holds water. Or you can enhance fire element by placing wood element, because wood burns and creates fire, and so on. So it is just unbelievable how many things we can add together for best energies. And so that's also the thought behind my new art line, that even though they may seem to be just like a certain color of concentric circles or squares, but everything has a lot deeper meaning. The colors, the color combinations, the numbers, how the energies were mixed together. It's almost like the perfect gelato that you can taste, that it tastes so good. You kind of sense it has stracciatella in it, or chocolate, or pistachio, or whatever. You don't know all the ingredients, but you sort of sense that it will make you feel good.
Oh, I can tell by looking at them. I really do encourage the listeners right now to go to the website and look at them, because I see ones that I mean, I love the Emerald Dreams. So Agnes has one piece of art that has 9 squares, and I suppose that's because we're in a 9 period.
Yes, yes.
And it's the beautiful emerald green. And that one is really attracting me. I'm very much smitten with it. I can feel the energy of it. So I would recommend people go to the website and pick out your piece of feng shui art, contact Agnes, place it correctly, because it's so important and it's so powerful.
And please also use or mention the code ROSE, Kathy's name, when purchasing any art, because that means a few extra perks for you. And that's something that I would like you to encourage. If you just could please put in, there is an option to put a coupon code, and you can mention ROSE, ROZE. I'm sorry, ROSE, Kathy's last name to.
Yeah, but
to put it
independent of that, I really love these pieces you have created. You know, I talk to so many clients who are trying to manifest relationship and need to create more flow in their love and relationship area. What do you have to say about that, just in general?
So the most important thing to look at is always the bedroom. Relationships start in the bedroom, so the placement of the bed. It's very common, or I should say trending nowadays, that couples sleep on separate mattresses, because one part is hot, the other part is cold, one side is lifting. This is not good energy, because it's like the couple is cut apart by sleeping on 2 separate mattresses. Often there is an imbalance in the bedroom, like one of the bed sides are missing, or the 2 lamps on, let's say, each side of the bed are not equal in size or shape or color or form. That can tilt the energies. And very often, couples can have different positive directions. So one of them might be an East group person, the other one may be a West group person. And so they just don't mesh energetically. And then so feng shui should have the role to bring them together and create an overarching, balancing, harmonious energy for them, I always like to start in the bedroom. And then, of course, so many households have blockages or blocks. It could be clutter, it could be just misplaced furniture. So I always encourage everybody to take photographs of their own space, because when we look at, where we live, where we work every day, we get used to the environment. But when you see your own space on a photograph, then you are like, oh, wow, like I didn't even realize that, that's in the corner, or something along these lines.
Yeah. Moving into a brand new house and being able to choose the landscaping, being able to make the choices we did to customize the home, and placing the furniture mindfully just drives that whole point home. It's different when you're starting fresh, and you get to mindfully place furniture, rather than what happens is you get entrenched, you live in your home for a long time, you don't move anything, it develops kind of stagnation. And then you get so used to it, it's like you said, you can't see the blocks anymore.
I love that you moved into a new home, Kathy. That's like the ultimate clean start, fresh start. Mm-hmm. You don't have to deal residual energies from previous people who live there, because that's also a very important aspect, that decluttering is important, but you really have to clean and cleanse the energies. And you are just so lucky, and you will have so much growth and good energy and good fortune in this new home. I understand not everybody can move into a brand new place, but you can do a lot of things on your own, from cleaning, cleansing, decluttering, painting, repainting, to refresh the energies of any space, and garden. Now it's summertime, so it's just so much fun to do all the outdoor work, gardening, cutting trees, planting.
Well, I am not a feng shui expert at all. However, because I've known you and because you have affected my life and my consciousness, there are so many times when I will have a client who is saying how stuck they are. Nothing's moving forward. You can hear it in their voice. You can hear it in their story. And perhaps that person might be having a transit in their chart over the IC, which is the fourth house cusp, the bottom part of the chart. And there have been many times when I've said, tell me about your house. Is it cluttered? And they'll say, oh my God. Or I'll say, is your house clean? Is it organized? And they say, no, it's a mess. It's terrible. And sometimes the most basic and most practical advice comes through then, which is, why don't you dedicate the next month to throwing away, giving away, selling anything you haven't used in the last year or two, and cleaning every detail, every corner, and organizing your house. And they're going, that's not astrology. And I say, yeah, it is. It is astrology.
It really is.
Yeah, and it's practical. And, even though I'm not a feng shui expert in any way, that simple act, you can feel the change that happens in your life when you start to give away or throw away or sell stagnant energy in your house.
Yes. I like to use the analog example of acupuncture, which is like unblocking the meridians of the body.
Yes.
And the basic steps of feng shui are like this. You grab and you unblock the meridian lines of your home. And that you mentioned decluttering, I have a favorite thing to do that I'm so believing in it. It works for me every time. And I highly recommend. This is an old Taoist tradition to do the decluttering in 9 days. And now that we are moving into period 9, it even takes on additional significance. So the idea is that you declutter your space for 9 consecutive days. So you cannot interrupt it. Like if you miss a day, you have to restart again. And it's best to get rid of items, things. It can also be emails, ideas from your head, beliefs that don't serve us anymore, phone numbers from your phone. So it's not only, the broken bras and, the favorite gray t-shirt that no one wears anymore. But activate the number 9 by doing it for 9 consecutive days, as well as try to get rid of items in 9s. So like 9 items or 18 or 27, 36. And the same with the emails or phone numbers or contacts that you would not like to have. So in my experience, once you start doing this, you can use sometimes I use Mercury retrogrades. When Mercury retrograde starts, I do the first 9 days to sort of counter effect if I fear that there would be, situations coming in with the retrogrades. But I use it most of the time just to usher in good news, make sure the kids get into college. And then I frantically declutter. And after day 6, the good news comes in. It doesn't even take, you have to finish the whole 9 days, but there is something about day 6 when good news start to come in. I highly recommend everybody to start that.
Is that because 6 is a special number?
6 actually is a heaven star number. In Feng Shui, it sometimes stands for mentors, mentorship, benefactors. So in that way, it's lucky.
So you are available not only for the Feng Shui consultations, and of course your art is available, but you also do spiritual counseling, correct?
I do. And it's also because certain aspects of Feng Shui are so tied to astrology, but also, like I mentioned earlier, certain dimensions of it are not tangible. And when someone has an interest and an affinity to learn sort of how to sit and pull down the energies from the skies, from above, from below, from left and right, then that's a different type of spiritual consultation than, that sometimes we need other entities, as other forces, or simply we just can tune into materials differently. Like, I know you love crystals, and so many of us use crystals, but there is also a time dimension and a deeper attunement in Feng Shui to which crystal or what element. If it's not an earth crystal element, then water or metal. So how to use them for very specific manifestations.
Yeah, I will never forget many, many years ago when you came to my house and my office was filled with probably 300 crystals. I mean, I had collected for 30 years and I had them everywhere. And you went, this is too much energy. You need to tone it down. And I went, no, I was not ready to hear that. And I did end up doing that. I ended up giving away most of them, selling some of them, which was a difficult process, but I had too many and their voices were too loud. And you needed to point that out to me, even though I was resistant, because it planted the seed. And I realized, yeah, they were too loud. It was too much noise.
It's not always easy to get rid of items, that have grown to be part of our extended aura in a way, but there always is a lightness that follows.
Indeed. Absolutely, yes. It is palpable. 3 years ago, when we first put our big house on the market, which didn't end up selling because I really was not ready, but we put it on the market and it caused us to do a big purge, packing things up, moving everything around, cleansing, detailing, decluttering. It was palpable. I mean, you could measure the change and the lightness that went through our bodies and our business and our spirit and our health as we gave away precious items or donated precious items that just were stagnant. And all people have to do in order to experience this is what you suggested. We didn't do it in 9 days. We just did it. But all people have to do is start to declutter, start to move the energy around.
It really is life-changing. And sometimes basic little things like open the window, like, in the United States, where most households have air conditioning in the summer, a lot of people simply don't open the windows for these reasons. It's too hot, or you still have to get up early in the morning. I prefer the dragon hour, which is from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. The earlier you do it, the fresher the energy that comes in. And these little everyday refreshing rituals. I don't want to sound like an army surgeon, like you have to make your bed, but you have to make your bed. You have to get up, open the window, let in the fresh air, make your bed, even yourself, because once in a few minutes, the basic daily energies are set, that gives us also power and energy to show up for ourselves, to show up for our families, friends, for our clients, to be better channels for messages, for consultation work, and just to be a loving mom, or, we need those few minutes, not only the prayers, the meditations, but also physically freshening up the space.
So let me ask you, you live in Florida.
Yes.
Where it's very hot and humid. I'm in Virginia, where it's not as humid as where you are, but it's very humid. And opening your windows in the summertime, letting all that humid air, you do that still?
I do. I just do it early. Like I close the window when the sun rises.
And so you mentioned the dragon hour. Do the hours have correspondence with certain animals?
Yes. So the 24 hours go in 2-hour sequences or segments. So the dragon hour is from 7 to 9. After that, it is the hour of the snake, then the hour of the horse, and so on. So how they follow each other. And so the 12 zodiac signs are divided into 2-hour segments.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Well, our new house has a wonderful southern exposure. It's sort of south and a little bit east. And I was guided, and I hope I made the correct choice, but I was guided to paint the front door purple. And it feels fabulous. It just, has that resonance, like, this is right.
I think it was right. I think it was perfect. So the south belongs to the fire element. And interestingly, what we have talked about, the period 9 is the purple star energy. And so this is associated also this year with the south, with the horses. And so that's the the direction for the horses. So you were guided correctly, and purple is, in my feeling, I wonder, like it's such an expansion. There is an expansive energy to purple beyond the spiritual vibes, but still, this is more fiery energy than a lot of people would think.
Agnes, you are a wealth of information and wisdom. And what is your email? If people want to contact you by email, should they do that through your website?
That would be the best. Yes, through the website, they can reach me, with any questions. If
AgnesBeleznay.com. Once again, AgnesBeleznay.com.
Thank you, Kathy. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it. And you are a natural Feng Shui master in yourself with your choice of colors, the art, and everything. So your clients should rest reassured that everything and anything you suggest in this direction is absolutely correct.
Thank you. Much love to you, Agnes. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.